Red Ray Gun Limited presents
The Benji and Nick Show. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good day.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good... Oh, no. I was going to say good evening. Oh, goodness.
Loch Ness.
Damn.
I can't believe I was all ready to say good night as well. So that was the Loch Ness game.
Dreadful
it's
form.
Not about Loch Ness, and it's not a game.
Certainly not, but this is the Benji and Nick Show, your number one vintage television podcast in the world. Absolutely in the world, number one. And we talk about old TV from the past, TV you might remember, TV you might want to forget. We look it over, have a little watch, and then talk about it. It's all very good. We've been doing it for over a year, maybe 2 years now. I can't remember.
Years.
Long time.
2,000 years.
And we still don't really know what on earth we're doing here. But we are. I'm
not Benji.
And I'm not Nick. But what are we talking about today, Nick?
Dun dun dun, ba bum bum. We're talking about Doomwatch, created by Kit Pedler and Jerry Davis, who also created the Cybermen for Doctor Who. I want to say it was out in 1970. Is that right?
It must have been. I haven't looked. I haven't done my research on this one. Doomwatch. Watch. You see,
sort of like a little bit like
70.
Yes. 1970, yes. Sort of like a grown-up version of Doctor Who, in a way, by which I mean far fewer special effects, quite a few more fluffs.
And a lot more talking.
And added 70s sexism. Anyway, which is always a treat on this podcast.
Absolutely, yeah.
Shelley Dean, our reviewer from across the pond, will be here, yes, from the good old US of A. And she will be giving her unique insight on this, saying, "Oh my God, what is it?" Probably, but she'll have researched it. Oh, Benji, I forgot to video this.
Oh well, we've done so well. We could.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, we. What was I saying? She'll have researched it. She'll have, she'll know the number of nasal hairs in each and every character.
42 in Mr. Simmons' nose.
Yes, so that'll be interesting. We should mention that we're still building up to Patreon, aren't we?
We certainly are, yes. Our Patreon has loads of goodies in store. We'll be videoing sessions. We'll be having the exclusive after parties, which are pretty rocking, aren't they, Nick? Where we talk about any given subject, really. We just sort of riff and jam as we go.
The last one was incredible.
It was quite an emotional experience, wasn't it? But you name it, honestly, we're going to have discounts on merchandise. I mean, we're going to have merchandise, so that's a good start as well. Yeah, There'll be discounts on the Nicholas Briggs website as well. All sorts of stuff. Really,
NicholasBriggs.com.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, you'd be a fool to miss out. There's even little exclusive audio episodes and all sorts of things.
Audio, a sort of drama thing. Should we tell them what it's called?
Certainly can. It's called Inside the Telly, where me and Nick and Shelley go... Where? Inside the telly.
Yeah, it's quite dramatic and traumatic.
It certainly is. It's a wacky world out there. This is where we
stupid.
This isn't a case of us going inside and saying, "Oh look, there's some transistors up there." No, it's a real whodunit sort of adventure in not time and space, but more tape and space. Whatever that means.
And we'll be making the first episode of it at least available to everybody, and then it will continue for Patreon subscribers. Is that the best way of putting it?
I think that certainly is the best way. Yeah, I think
Patron
is Patron.
Different tiers as well. You can.
Yeah, you can subscribe for I think the lowest one is £1, isn't it? And we'll be unveiling that as we go along. We're just tightening up the screws and dotting the T's and crossing the I's, as they say. But yeah, more information on that as we go along.
Good. It's emails next.
Yes.
So I better find some because I haven't done my work. Emails are sent to podcast@nicholasbriggs.com. So I'm just going to have a look. What have we got here? That's the cover.
The cupboard.
Okay, well, look, I haven't read this, but let's have a look. This is a Halloween quiz. This was sent on the 26th. 6th. That's better. Of October. Yeah. In the year 1602. This involves me changing my glasses. So well organised.
It's a very important task. Though.
I'm an old man.
Old, yes. My back, it hurts. Read this.
Oh, that's right. Oh, there we are. Yes, Thomas Hodden, thank you. Evening all. As it is the spooky season. Well, it's long past now, actually, but we're catching up on these emails. I thought it might be fun to offer you a bit of a challenge. Below are some of the ghosts, goblins, and strange creatures of folklore and legend said to haunt Britain. Some are genuine legends, but some are utter bobbins that I just made up. Can you tell which are which? The answers will be at the bottom of the page. Right, okay. Right, the hairy hands of Dartmoor. A pair of ape-like hands said to materialise in cars to grab the wheel and cause accidents in remote corners of Dartmoor. Is it a legend or is it bobbins? The Dalby Spook. A talking mongoose called Jeff. G-E-F, Jeff, who haunted a farmhouse on the Isle of Man. The Hastings Hound. A man in fancy dress as Scooby-Doo. Said to ominously follow drunks through Hastings.
I have to say this at this point, as somebody who has spent the vast majority of his life frequenting Hastings, that is entirely possible. So you can't rule that one out. Interesting enough, there's quite a few fun people in Hastings. There's a man, I don't know if he's still alive, but his name's Alan, and he carries around. He dresses up in like the full safari gear. He carries around a didgeridoo and two masks, one of a zebra and one of something else. I can't remember what animal it is. I've got a great photo of myself with him from years ago. But he just hangs around and drinks. He likes drinking Duvel beer and just hangs around. And as well as that, there's also...
I don't know Duvel beer. What's that?
It's like a sort of very fizzy beer. I don't like it, but it's Belgian, but it's quite strong. But people enjoy it. There's also the naked man as well, who just is naked and just it just turns up at places everywhere naked around Hastings. And normally,
is it always the same naked man, or is it a torch that's passed on?
Oh, it's always the same. It's always the same naked man. Sometimes he wears a dress, but most of the time he's just naked. Yeah, he's pretty common. Hastings is a weird place, but it's a fun place at the same time.
Yeah. Well, it's just mainly sounding weird, to be quite frank. Okay. Well, anyway, this the Hastings Hound, as fancy dressed as Scooby-Doo, said to ominously follow drunks. I don't know how you ominously follow a drunk, because they just won't notice. Before vanishing as soon as they enter a shop or other refuge. Well, that just means they don't go indoors. Anyway, the ghost of Bluebell Hill, a woman who stumbles in front of cars, convincing many drivers in Kent that they have had a terrible accident, only for no trace of her to be found. Oh. The ruddy matron of Tunbridge Wells.
God.
A crude and ruddy woman.
A ruddy matron.
Known to offer unwanted attention to lone men on foggy nights. She sounds nice.
Loneman.
These are just so hilarious. Alien big cats. The mysterious panthers or other large cats said to be living wild in remote corners of the UK. I didn't know they were called alien big cats. The giggling crows of Romney Marsh. A ghostly flock of corvids said to harry and attack the unwary who were straying into the marshes. Mugglemuck. Perhaps London's... Sorry, it just sounds like I sort of had a sort of strange spasm then. Mugglemuck. Perhaps London's strangest ghost is Mugglemuck, a decaying corpse in an estate car full of litter and rubbish, said to drive slowly around narrow streets at a constant but slow speed, infuriating many, but revealing the full horror of his demonic otherworldly
just
visage,
his other
visage to those who react with violent anger or road rage. I hope this little quiz offers some amusement while I've been chortling. And, of course, happy Halloween in the past to all at the podcast. Yours, T.E. Hodden. No peeking. Keep scrolling for the answers. Cup of tea. And now the answers. So
let's go through each one and work out.
Hairy Hands of Dartmoor. What do you think?
Fake. Definitely fake. Yep.
It's true.
Oh, God. Well, I suppose they have to blame creepy, crawly, handy people on something, don't they?
The Dalby Spook, a talking mongoose called Jeff.
Nah, I'm not buying it.
It's true.
Wow.
Yeah. The Hastings Hound.
Not true.
Correct, that's Bobbins. The Ghost of Bluebell Hill.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, that's the Ghost of Bluebell Hill, a woman who stumbles in front of cars, convincing many drivers in Kent that they had a terrible accident. It is true.
Yeah, that sounds it.
Okay. If I get these in the wrong order, it's not going to. The Ruddy Matron of Tunbridge Wells.
Nah, I don't think she's.
No, it's not true. It's Bobbins. Alien Big Cats.
Nah.
It's legend.
Is it really?
It's true. I know there are big cats around, but I didn't know they were called alien big cats. That's just weird. The Giggling Crows of Romney Marsh.
Surely true.
No, Bobbins.
Oh.
And I said Muggle Muck. I think it's Mungle Muck, which is even better.
Mungle Muck.
It's the London's. Who's? I just want to read it again. A decaying corpse in an estate car full of litter and rubbish.
I mean, it can't be true. It's the type of thing that will end up being true.
Well, it's Bobbins.
Okay, well, there we go. Right, good, though. I like that.
It's nice. Thank you, T.E. Hodden. Let me consign that to the used podcasts folder. I got
Shiba, O door, reveal thy secret to me. Shiba.
Right, I'm sending you one.
Righto, standing by. Initiate launch sequence 261. Deployed, thank you.
You got it yet?
Just looking now.
Coming through.
Yes, received, over. Thank you.
Received, over.
Okay, so this one here is from Christopher Gerard. Title of this one is Some Suggestions. And this was sent on the 14th of the 10th, 2020, in the past, 1943. Hope you're all right. You made it this far. Says here, hi guys. As soon as you asked at the end of last podcast, I thought I would send in some suggestions. I said as soon as you asked. It just actually says as you asked. I can't read.
Just make stuff up. Make it up.
Making up. This was Kolchak, the Night Stalker. I wonder if Shelley's ever seen this one. It's American.
Yeah, I bet she has. It's quite famous in America, Kolchak.
We've got a James Bond movie. Somehow it's been several years and I don't think you've covered any. I mean, I could cover a James Bond movie in my sleep. I love them so. Been watching a lot of Bond lately, actually.
Have you?
Yeah, I've been really going down the Bond tunnel. Yeah, I watched Goldfinger the other day. Tomorrow Never Dies.
Goldfinger the other day.
It's this one where
Goldfinger the other day.
He's the man who he popped in and did some things, but don't go in. Great old film, that one. Dangerman. You did The Prisoner, but I think there's fun to be had looking into what came first, especially with its amazing theme tune. Certainly one that our good friend Rick would absolutely love for us to cover Dangerman, I'm sure. And Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, what a classic. This is a little late since it's from the 2000s, but it's a comedy where the premise is that it's an unreleased horror TV show from the 1970s. Terrible effects, over-the-top acting, and some notable performances ensue, especially from the always fun Richard, I can never say his name, Richard Ayoade?
Ayoade, yeah.
I think it must be. Apologies, Richard, now. I'm just not very good at reading normal words, let alone people's names. I love Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. I think it's fab.
Yes, I'd love to see that again.
It's got that great song in it, isn't it? I'm a one-track lover. Great stuff. Well, we'd certainly bear those ones in mind, won't we?
We certainly will.
And the good thing is it says this email is virus-free from avast.com. Just putting that out there. It does say that at the bottom, just to hammer that one home.
Rex the Runt, this one's called. It was sent a long time ago on the 4th of October, just catching up with it now, in the Roaring Twenties, 1925. Jaw 2190. Oh, sorry, that's the... What? I think that's the email address. Anyway, good day to you all. I've been enjoying listening to your podcast the past couple of months, although I've been unable to listen to your recent commentary episodes on Doctor Who Inferno, as I don't have that episode of my DVD collection. Sorry. Unhappy face. Here's a series you can... Go get BritBox. Here's a series you can possibly focus for a future podcast, and that is one of the less remembered Aardman series called Rex the Runt, which is a show about a group of 4 dogs having crazy adventures and trying to survive modern life. I've recently watched some of it on YouTube, and it is fun to watch, and I think you'll enjoy watching it and discussing it afterwards. Smiley face, Jonathan Westall.
When was Rex the Runt out?
I didn't even know about Rex the Runt.
He was introduced in minor character in 1989, and then there were 3 pilots, 91, 91 and 96. It's got an interesting group of people as well. Paul Merton, Judith Chalmers, Simon Day, Bob Monkhouse, Jonathan Ross, Graham Norton.
Wow.
Involved. June Whitfield, Kathy Burke, Eddie Izzard. I recognise it. I definitely recognise it. I can't say I must have seen it at some point, but yeah, that's certainly something we'll have to consider. I love anything Aardman and anything stop motiony. I find them great. Like, Trapdoor is another great one.
I know.
It's an
Very fond of that,
iconic one.
aren't you?
Yeah, I like lots of fun things like that.
Well, I mean, folks, keep your suggestions coming in. They're really great food for thought.
Food for foot.
So, we're going to go on to talk about Doomwatch.
That was the nuclear bomb exploding in the titles.
So I thought I'd invite Shelley along.
That's the most wonderful idea, I think.
Yes.
Yes. Most exciting.
I only realised I was making that noise halfway through making it.
I anticipated your noise and joined in.
She'll have dressed up or something, and we've not activated the video this time.
What a absolute.
We could go from now, couldn't we?
We could go from now. That could be a good idea. Zippity-doo, we're rolling.
Does it say it's recording? Oh, yeah.
Yes. That is what I wanted to know.
And so you join us as we await the arrival of Shelley Dean. The first section of this podcast wasn't recorded on video. This bit is.
Bonjour.
Hello.
Hello,
Shelley Dean.
Hello, Benji and Nick. How are you guys today?
Very well. How are you?
It's pleased to have you here, and sorry you've been waiting for so long to arrive.
It's fine. That's why it took me so long, because the recording equipment crashed while I was waiting for you guys. I had it open for too long, so then I had to. I went to hit record, and it was no, it's not open. I was like, oh no!
A classic nightmare scenario.
So we are recording, and we are good.
That's fine. Thank goodness for that. So now then. Doomwatch. Every time I say Doomwatch, I have to go dun 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 ba-dum bum bum.
Every time I say Doomwatch, I want to say Doom Bar, because I just assume the beer is the most important thing. There's a beer called
Doom Bar over here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which I'm rather fond of.
Yes, it's your favourite.
Tell me about the Doom Bar.
Oh well, it's a kind of amber ale, isn't it?
It is. Yes, it's very nice. Sort of, yeah. Best served warm, I think you'll find.
Really, yeah. I keep having it chilled.
Chilled is fine, but with an ale, I think a warm ale is.
It's true. Best bit of. Yeah.
Like a nice
goodness me,
warm.
I've not been in a pub for months. I'm just quite depressed all of a sudden.
I haven't had a beer in years, so there we
Yeah,
go.
true, yeah.
Well, you're the winner here, I think.
Yes.
Right. We're the sad addicts.
A victory
but,
for being healthy. Well, there we go. So we're talking Doomwatch.
Yes, Doomwatch.
This one here, BBC One back in 1970.
Good year, good year.
A good year, yeah. You know, it was all
Is that
kicking
when you were
off.
born by any chance?
Yes,
What did
I'm
you think,
that
Shelley?
old. That's how old I am.
You were in the
I-
middle of Doomwatch, weren't you?
Yes. What did I think of it? It took me a few minutes to get warmed into it.
I bet.
You know what I mean?
bet.
Like I
Yeah.
started watching it, and it's like some stuff with that old. I don't want to say old, but it's just the way
is
it's
old.
filmed, the way it's acted, and everyone's so a certain way, and so it did take me a little bit to get into it, but then I got into it. I really started thinking this is a very good storyline. I actually really enjoyed the characters. Once I kind of figured out who we were, what we were doing, what was happening. So all in all, I did enjoy it, and I would like to see more, but apparently they did what Doctor Who did, and they got rid of all the film. So there's like so many missing episodes.
There, you see.
Wait,
look.
you have the remaining episodes. Yeah,
Yeah,
I read
yeah.
that
But
they're
you know,
missing 5 of the
There's
first series.
quite a lot of discs in here, like you see.
So at least get the full review there.
Yeah, okay, Nick, you go now. You tell us all about Doomwatch
I've
series.
got a
1
whiteboard
through
pen,
3.
and I don't have a whiteboard. That'll do.
Had you finished speaking about it initially?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. My dear friend Nick Pegg said to me a few months ago something about people who subscribe to ridiculous myths like that Doomwatch was any good.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
And for ages, Doctor Who fans all said, Kit Pedler and Jerry Davis, who created the Cybermen for Doctor Who, later went on to create this hard-edged sci-fi program for adults, and it was very cutting edge, and it gripped the nation. It did grip the nation, but I think Nick, I'm taking his name in vain, and he's not here to defend himself, and will never hear this podcast.
I'm going to send it to him.
He just thinks, oh, come on, it's a bit naff, isn't it? And I have to say, this is my... Well, I want to ask a question first. Is it actually the first episode of Doomwatch, or is it just
the first episode of
It's
Doomwatch?
the first episode.
All right, okay.
Do apologise. I'm
wonder
just
whether it was
adjusting this microphone. Sorry.
Yeah, it's very exciting. It's on video. We can now see all this.
Yes, you can. Yes, you
It's
can
like
see
a
this
trip behind the scenes of
microphone
incompetence.
from Soviet Russia. This one. It actually is. So the writing on the back of it's in Russian as well.
Da.
Yeah, da. Yeah, that's the only
That's Svidania. That's about all. Like, yeah, KGB. So I watched it. I think I've seen this episode 3 or 4 times. Not just recently. I watched it once for this show. Mm-hmm. The first time I saw it was a long time ago on VHS when it came out, and I was really disappointed by it, because it seemed so clunky and, noiseless and all the terrible slow motion effects. The idea is of a plastic-eating virus that they create in order to get rid of all the excess plastic we have in the world. And the fact that they've written a drama about this in 1970, or rather
It's
1969,
switched on.
is incredible, isn't it? We're really worrying about this now, and this was decades ago. It's incredible. In fact, believe it or not, Shelley, it was 50 years ago.
What?
I mean,
no, I'm only 25. What are you
how could
talking
this
about?
be?
I mean, it does leave one wondering if at that time in 1970, obviously plastic was quite a new kind of modern thing. But the fact that
it's been around.
But it was there must have been something to spur these ideas, because we've got this idea by Kit Pedler and Jerry Davis of Doctor Who background, but of course Spearhead from Space, Doctor Who, obviously Autons, plastic, same year, not so, obviously very different, but it's interesting, isn't it, how there are two BBC One shows primarily about plastic. So
we've been worried about plastic for over 50 years and still not really ever done anything about it.
And just
Kit
made
Pedler
the problem worse and worse and worse.
Kit Pedler and Jerry Davis could see this coming right back then, and they thought people will try and create a virus. But the trouble is, if you create a virus to destroy plastic and it's not controlled, then it would, they say it could go through a major city in 12 hours. It would just infect everything, and everything would start falling apart. Power lines would start shorting out, all the plumbing would go, all this kind of thing. So they present a terrifying image of what it could do. The second time I saw it, I still thought, oh, that's a bit... and the last time I saw it, I didn't much like it. And then this time I watched it, I totally loved it. Because of that element.
Interesting, yeah.
It's really weird. It took me 4 goes, basically, to love it.
You just changed your perspective.
Yeah,
basically.
It's so earnest. I love the earnestness of it. And they do, it's a little bit one-take wonder, isn't it? There are quite a few major fluffs.
Oh, totally.
Where you thought, oh, surely they could have stopped for that. But, and of course, as I mentioned last week, because it's in the 70s and it's adult, you get more of the sexism. I mean, the women hardly have anything. There are 2 women, aren't they? And they're both subjected to sex pestery by what's the character?
John Ridge.
John Ridge, yeah.
John Ridge.
And it's immediate as well, isn't it? It's
in like the first 3 seconds.
It's like you
I pinched her bum this morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have all the aeroplane thing, and it's straight in there. And you think, wow, we watched a thing, Shelley, called the Stone Tape. Stone Tapes about last year, wasn't it? Probably around this time last year.
Who knows?
And that was fine until this one scene where they just managed to cram in racism and sexism all in the space of this one scene immediately, and we were like, oh, you've been doing so well until this point. But
and then our eyes just went out on stalks, like, what are you doing?
Whereas this is the opposite. This one's like, right, let's just kick it off as we mean to carry on.
We're just going to throw it out there. This is what we're about, and this is how we feel about women. So love it or leave it, people.
Rich, it really is.
Yeah.
It's a byword for saying this is adult. That's what they're doing. Yeah. They say it's maybe sci-fi, but we've still got a guy wiggling his eyebrows and telling this bloke he's pinched the girl's bum this morning. You know, and the way
I was going to say the one female technician in the lab when he breaks into Beeston, whatever place is called.
Yeah.
She's holding the vial, and the guy was like, "Oh, you're doing it all wrong." And
incompetent female. Yeah.
God forbid a woman is holding something the right way.
Well, they wouldn't have thought of that. They just thought, "Oh, a technician messes something up. Well, we'll probably have the woman do that."
Yeah.
It's unconscious prejudice, isn't it?
Meanwhile, everyone's letting John Ridge sneak into every single high security place, jumps over a fence, shows up, throws on a lab coat. "Hi, I'm here. Do you have credentials?" "Oh, yeah." And then he continues carrying on telling him all the secrets.
I love his character, though. He's so cheeky, isn't he? I mean, when he breaks into the Beeston lab, it just looks like a comprehensive school, doesn't it? That looks like the school I went to. That did not look like a lab. And there he is. He's breaking in over. He's carefully putting the clips on the fence to isolate the
which aren't actually touching the wire if you looked at it close.
I mean, I have to say, with this, I found myself with this. I found myself. I was completely switched off for all the bits that weren't on the plane. Really, I was just not that fussed by it because it was just it was very static. Because it was suffering from the New Scotland Yard syndrome of being stuck in these sort of very similar types of rooms.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it cut to the plane, I just came out of this comatose state of thinking about other things and was completely invested in it again. And I watched it, I thought, if it was like this all the way through, if there was this action on the plane or whatever, and you could have a great, it could be even better. But also, you imagine how good it would be if they rebooted it. BBC One, this going on a plane, all the commotion on the floor. You could have a lot of fun with this. But I do feel that the dryness of the static stuff, even when he is sneaking around, that did turn me off a little bit.
You have to watch it 4 times, Benji.
And then I'll love it, and I'll be...
It'll be your favorite.
Because that's exactly... What you're describing is exactly how I felt about it when I first watched it. Isn't that weird?
It's clearly a thing, isn't it? I mean,
I found it comforting. Watching it last night, I absolutely lapped it up. I just thought, I'm so glad, because I was sort of dreading it. I thought, I thought this was a bit boring, but
apparently the fourth time is the charm.
Yeah, clearly so. It's one of those. It's one of those ones, though. I think it is. It's quite unique. You can see why people would be turned off by it, but equally you can see why people would absolutely love it and think it's brilliant. It's very much
it was
middle
popular,
ground, isn't it?
It was popular at the time because it raised all these issues that people were only just starting to think about. So it was real a zeitgeisty thing, actually, and it became real must-see television. Later on, by the way, Shelley, did you notice? Are you aware of who Robert Powell is? Who came in as Toby Wren? He was, he was a bit of a heartthrob on British television, and he famously played Jesus of Nazareth in the series, the big film series of the same name, which was massive in the 70s. And Robert Powell rocketed to incredible stardom and started starring in movies and things. And this is one of his early roles. So that's one of the things that Doomwatch is noted for. And famously, they kill him off.
Oh.
They blow him to absolute bits.
Lovely.
Yeah. In an episode called Who Killed Toby Wren, I believe it's called.
Funny that.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm loving it, and I just want to go away and watch the rest of it now. It's so
that's what I
over-earnest.
said, and I did. I was interested, and doing my research, I did see what some of the other episodes were about, and I thought those sound very interesting to me. And then it was like, but none of them exist anymore. Oh. So it was like, oh well, okay.
It's unfortunately, it went the same way, and there's some great writers as well. I mean, certainly, of Doctor Who fame, you've got, Kit Pedler and Jerry Davis on there.
Yeah, who else is in there?
Dennis Spooner, Terence Dudley. Yeah. Quite a few different people involved in it. Yeah, Louis Marks.
These writers were all Louis Marks. These were all who wrote Day of the Daleks.
Bob Holmes. Sorry,
they were all going concerns at the time. Regular, reliable TV writers. That if you were doing a series, you went to these guys, and their names appear on all British television round about that time. They do all this stuff. Quite remarkable, really. So when John Rich gets into the comprehensive school field, there's a huge gap between the fence and the building. And the building, did you notice, is covered in windows. Yeah. So why did no one in that building go, there's a funny man.
There's a man out there.
Oh, God. And they say security check him before he leaves. And he's got a file of the disease virus in his pocket.
And they don't actually check him.
They don't check his top shirt pocket. Which has got this terrible virus just in his top shirt
he just
pocket.
I wrote that down. I said he goes in and he just takes the vial that he knows is this absolutely horrendous thing that brought down a plane, just plops it into his pocket. No protection, no nothing.
I think he's a no protection guy, let's face it.
Yeah, he's
say no more. That's John Ridge for you.
That's old Ridgy.
With his eyebrows.
There's I can't do that.
I just tried, and I'm doing weird things with my face.
Okay, that's not bad, is it? It was like that, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, Benji can do it. Oh, there you go, Benj. Nice.
Yeah, thank you very
Nick,
much.
you got both going at the same time.
Oh, right. Oh, I can do that.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. You can raise
but he did both at the same time, didn't he? Just went... Yeah.
I'll tell you a scene in this which cracked me up, which I found really funny. Was, it was quite early on when they're in the office on the telephone and they're talking to one another. And it was just a terrible bit of bad luck that one person behind him, he had a load of books and stuff. And then the chap he was on the phone to also had books behind him. So subsequently, it just looked like they were on the telephone in the same room.
And I
was expecting them both to look at that. Yes, and have you sorted out the thing? No, I'm not sorted. May I suggest? Da-da-da. And then I was just waiting for the shot of them both. The both of them. Right, anyway, now we've discussed
the modern day version of texting while you're in the same room.
It's utterly absurd. And I was just chuckling to myself. I thought this is utterly ridiculous. But it's telefear, just a poor decision.
There's a lot of stuff that as far as continuity and slip-ups and things that I just kept catching, and it was just annoying me, especially there's the scene the second time on the plane, which is clearly the same plane. Right. But he has I can't remember that guy's name. He has the... Toby Wren? Wren, that's it, sorry. He took the piece from the crashed plane and put it in a plastic bag.
Yeah.
Mind you, it's still in the plastic bag is fine, by the way. So
Yeah. That's true. He
so-
does put it in a
yeah.
metal box, but then he takes it out to look
But
at
then
it.
he takes it out, and so then it starts spreading across the plane. There's a scene where the stewardess goes to reach for a styrofoam cup, and she already has white goo completely covering her
Terrible.
hand. And
When I
it's
saw
a
that, I thought
close-up
that-
shot, and it's like
Yeah. I thought Shelley is going to say something about that.
Right on it.
it drives me crazy. And then there's one of the seats has the overhead fan blower thing that melts down all over the seat. Everyone's freaking out.
That man
Other
says,
stuff
I
happens.
can't stay here anymore. I can't stay here.
So
He gets
then
up, doesn't he?
the next scene, they're sitting in the exact same seats. She's sitting in the seat that the thing had already dripped all over, and then the roof falls down on them.
Yeah, with that horrible sort of...
But she
noise.
had already. Why did she go and sit back in that seat?
Because the set wasn't big enough for anything. Well, that is
those things
unfortunately
annoy
the
me.
answer. And they keep slowing it down to make the liquid look more gooey. And you just think, yeah, but we can tell. You see,
Yeah.
the reason she already had stuff on her hand is because in order to do slow motion in those days, they had to borrow the Laserdisc system from the sports department at the BBC. And the sports department, because they were the only bit, and what they did every time something interesting happened in a match, they'd activate this laser disc, and then they say we can just have a replay of that, and they'd quickly play back that bit on the laser disc. And so it was a very quick thing. I think they could keep erasing and record. But it was much in demand, and so they would have had a really limited time with the laser disc. So that if it went wrong, she did the cut thing, she got the stuff on her hand, they said we didn't get the shot, let's do it again, and she did it, but she already had the stuff on her hand.
They just
but you
thought,
see
we have
that
to
in
get it, we
television
have to get
genuinely.
through it.
Famously in Space 1999, as Commander Koenig reaches out to the control desk to stop himself from falling when the moon is blasting out of the Earth's orbit, you can already see his finger marks where he'd grabbed it in the previous take. So
That's telly, though, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
that's the trouble of making telly at this particular time. You didn't have the luxury of time.
Yeah.
No, and this very much is, they will have done all this more or less in one go, I imagine.
Definitely.
With a few
Yes, but they had
effects
to with
setups.
everything melting and dripping, and
Why?
they couldn't clean that. Stop. Let's reset. Clean everything
And you can
up.
see a couple of really bad edits, can't you, where the picture twitches?
Yeah.
Where they've done a really bad edit.
But having said that, with all of this, though, it's still pretty good.
I think
it's-
the
yeah.
force of the script and the
Yes.
ideas, I don't think it's particularly sparkling dialogue, but the ideas push it forward. And it doesn't matter that the plastic's rubbish, and it doesn't matter that the CSO is terrible and you never see a real plane. It's just how they do 2 plane crashes with just stock footage. They've got a real nerve, haven't they?
I tell you, there's another thing as well with the stock footage that made me chuckle, is that they had this bit where the aircraft is going along and it banks over to one side, and
Yes.
jets go to one side. So they show this jet banking off and going off to one side.
That's a Royal Air Force jet that's going to
Yeah.
lead them down, isn't it? Yeah.
Correct.
Or
correct.
shoot them down.
And so they cut to the middle bit, where they cut to the next shot inside the cockpit where they're talking. Then they cut back to the jet, and they just show the exact same shot, like the exact same. It just banks away. It's gone. Like
Even the same scratches and hairs on the film. Yeah, you could
Oh,
absolutely
God.
see it. Yeah, yeah.
And this thing.
Cheap
I
as
was
chips,
thinking.
mate.
I was thinking this, watching this, especially when it crashed, when the plane crashed in the opening, is that at this particular time, obviously telly was still relatively in its infancy in terms of what to expect, and it was always getting better. Did viewers at the time do what we've been doing watching this and just look at it and say, well, that's stock footage, that's obviously stock footage? Or did people completely believe?
I think some people would notice it. TV
The average
literally.
viewer, I don't think, would even understand the concept of stock footage.
I suppose not.
Especially back then, when it's really is in its infancy, when you're speaking of.
Can you believe this BBC? They only went and shot down a plane just to get it on the telly. They did it twice.
I think it was the idea that captured people's imagination, and it made them overlook everything else.
Absolutely.
Quite incredibly. I mean, people do remember Doomwatch. I remember my parents talked about it. Oh, Doomwatch. And it became like a byword for anything to do with the modern world getting out of control and harming us. It's a bit Doomwatch, isn't it? That was, It used to be used.
Wow.
People would say that, yeah.
Well, that says it all, doesn't it?
I don't
really?
think when I was a kid I ever saw it because it was on too late. It was too adult. I was, it was sort of 7, 8, 9 around about that time. I could never quite work out with my birthday being on the 29th of September. Yes, you've missed it, folks. I'm not offended. I'm certainly not offended. Yeah, it's... But yeah, in the DVD release, there's a great BBC programme called The Cult of Doomwatch, and the BBC did these great documentaries about sci-fi
brilliant.
shows called The Cult of, and there's one, for various. I don't think they did Doctor Who, did they? Do The Cult of Doctor Who?
Oh, I mean, I feel like they wouldn't. I feel like Doctor Who warrants its own
series. But anyway, and it's fascinating because the guy who played John Ridge, whose name what is it? Simon Oates is on there as an old man, and he's being quite raucous about the ladies and John Ridge's attitude. He also, Simon Oates, played Steed in the stage play of The Avengers.
Oh, okay.
So there you go.
All right.
And Kate O'Mara, I think, played Mrs. Peel.
Not a bad choice either.
Yeah,
be
so
fair.
there you go.
There you go. That is a cult link straight away.
It is, isn't it? I'm really blooming loving it. I'm going to go crazy and give it 5 exclamation marks.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a. I'll probably 4.5. A little bit boring in certain bits, but I love the idea and the concept.
That's very generous.
And I think it's quite future proof. You can watch it now and still. As Shelley said, we've only made the situation worse. But you can watch it and it still provokes some quite interesting thoughts.
Yeah.
Shelley, what do you reckon?
I'm going to say, just because of my disappointment that I'm not going to be able to see I'll be able to see some, but not a lot, not all of them. I'm going to say 4. I know, you keep showing. You can send me that collection of DVDs, but I wouldn't be able to play it on my DVD player.
Haven't you got a multi-standard one?
I don't think so.
So Alan Partridge.
I can't imagine I do.
Oh, we're all ours in Britain are multi-standard now. We can play anything.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think I can play.
Have you given your mark, or did I just talk over you?
I might have. I think I said 4. I was thinking it if I didn't say it.
I can't
I'm
remember.
going to say 4. Neither can I.
don't even know who I am.
Where are we?
I'm going to say 4, and I'm also going to say there was one cute little bit of trivia that I found.
Excellent.
That I thought was very interesting.
This is what we don't pay you for.
Right. The big non-bucks I get. According to Terrence Dix, I guess was doing an interview at some point, he and the Doctor Who and the Doomwatch production teams looked at each other's proposed storylines to make sure neither series encroached on the other's territory.
Fair play.
I was like, that's very interesting.
You see, this week we've got Green Wobots.
We have to have a Terrence Dix
Green
impersonation.
Wobots in Doomwatch. Well, Terrence, Well, the thing is, what I'm doing.
And now we're just going down the rabbit hole of silliness.
Silly
Madness. Sequel. There was a revamp. Did you know
that?
Yes,
in 1999, I did see that,
Which
and
is
it's
probably
unavailable.
never going to be very good.
I looked on Amazon. It's unavailable.
I bought it not
is it
very long
dreadful?
ago.
Really?
I've started watching it, and it's just
made by Channel 5. So
yeah,
it's never going to be great, really.
That's about the size of it. I must watch it though. Who's in it? I think what annoyed me is that they do have the character of Quist, but it's played by I think it might be played by 236 today, Fulton Mackay.
Fair play. Yeah, fair play.
I think is he in it, or have I just imagined that?
Well, I'm trying to find.
I mean, I could go next door and look for it, but it might take a while.
Hold on. Revival, Doomwatch.
Right, I'm going to go and look for it.
I'm looking because I know I just saw
what,
it.
Winter
In the search
Angel
for
it's
something
called, wasn't it?
visually
Yes.
Doomwatch,
Winter
Trevor,
Angel. I've got it. It's Trevor Eve and Dallas Campbell.
Dallas Campbell, Miles Anderson, Steve Toussaint.
Toussaint.
By the way, we figured it out whilst Nick was
Yeah,
just
he's
he took
gonna
his
go-
headphones off and now he's going to go on an adventure and he's
Yeah.
going to come back with some chaotic story and we're going to be like, well, we're just sitting here chilling. quite
Yeah,
frankly.
we're just chit-chatting away.
Yeah, I just can't imagine it would ever be very good, to be honest.
Well, the intention was that they were going to revamp the whole series. So they did this movie, and then the movie was not great, so they were like, yep, never mind.
Yeah, well, fair play because
no reboot for you.
But it's obviously got like it's Universal or on the DVD cover of it, so it can't have been, whether or not they just distribute it or if they're involved, I don't know. They're a bit lackluster on the logo. It just looks like they just loaded up like Word. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, Doomwatch. Why not? Here he is.
And he's back.
It's not got full.
Trevor Eve and Dallas Campbell.
Yeah,
Yes.
we figured it out.
It's not got Dallas Campbell, who ended up being a presenter, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
He used to do a science program and think he was very clever.
BBC One Supersize Earth, bang goes the theory. Yeah, we were just talking about that. So very lackluster fonts going on with the it looks like they just typed it in. Doomwatch, that'll do.
I don't think that Quist survives.
No, something tells me maybe not.
I got the Fulton Mackay thing totally wrong. There was also a movie in the 70s.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
thought.
movie?
No, there was
No,
a
there was
movie.
another
Oh.
1970 movie in 1972, wasn't there?
Yeah. Who
Which is
was in
pretty
that?
impressive within
While
itself.
the series was still on, they did a movie?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
well,
Was it just
Or was it over?
maybe in between. But the Doomwatch movie, let's have a look. 1972.
But it had this guy in it, the movie. Very, very briefly, he was in it.
Just popped in with
He sent someone off on a mission, and they got an acceptably famous film actor. to
Ian
go.
Bannon.
Ian Bannon.
Ian Bannon, who was always
Ian.
very bad-tempered.
Bannon.
Ian Bannon.
Bannon.
Now listen here, I'm Ian Bannon.
Got Judy Geeson, John
Yeah.
Paul, Joby Blanchard.
See, John
what a
Paul
name.
is the guy, yeah. And it was all. Have you seen the funny pictures of people with lumpy faces? It's about an island with people who are sort of mutated and
people who have lumpy faces. Just having a look
basically
at it now.
me.
Mr. Lumpy Face. Oh gosh, yes, they do have. I mean, it's quite good makeup for the time, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
They look like the creatures from the Curse of Fenric. A little bit.
They do, don't they? Yes.
They do. They sort of do.
They do, don't they?
Hey,
On
they do, don't they?
IMDb, when you look up Doomwatch, the TV series, it has the year span. It says 1970 through 2016.
Okay. I
So-
suppose that might be to
Right,
do with.
yeah, but there was a lot of
No,
time
no.
when it was not.
No, I know, but did they redo something else in 2016 that would
Oh.
necessitate the adding of 2016 to that list? 1972, 1999. Oh, that's more like this. These interfaces for mobile versus the computer are so different on IMDb. So I
know
can't
not.
scroll it. I'm done.
Well, I think at this point in this down this rabbit hole, we should think about what we're going to do next week.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've invited Jamie Anderson to join us, but whether he's
Whether or
able
not he
to,
turns
I don't know.
up, I know not.
Hello.
Hello, Jamie.
Look at that
Good
for
to see
a
you.
background and a half.
Yes, it's the new Super Mario Nation calendar, now available from the Jerry Anderson store, shop.jerryanderson.co.uk. I've just finished a most amazing chat with Dr. Matthew Sweet.
Oh, great
Good guy. Good
He's
guy.
such a nice and clever man. And
So clever.
I did say to him, you make me feel very stupid when I speak to you, Matthew, but he's so lovely. And
And he said, I'm used to that.
he said, yes, you are. There, dummy.
He knows everything about everything. He only just mentions something and he goes, yes, it's funny because in 1952, the man who... Well, I thought I knew about this.
Yes, I mean that's definitely happened. But he had some great stuff. It'll be on our podcast in about 5 weeks' time. And I don't normally plug our podcast on your podcast, but I think that's a great chat.
It's mind blown. I can see why your face.
Can you give us a preview
truly...
of an interesting fact?
He was interviewing Dad in the middle of the point when they were having a fallout with working title over the 2004 Thunderbirds film. And rather unusually, he managed to get quotes from Dad basically saying working title are a bunch of...
Wow.
Then being the good journalist that he is, he went over to working title and said, well, Jerry Anderson says this. Is that the case? And that he had a person on the PR team, trying to be very polite. And then he heard the phone being grabbed by the head of PR. And the guy basically said, yeah, look, Jerry Anderson's miserable at everything. He's always complaining. He's always going to whinge. And he's been very difficult and just really went off on one. So he had this fantastic pair of quotes from Dad and working title basically slagging each other off. And you don't get that really in media now.
No, you certainly don't.
It was like Twitter, but in 2004.
And hearing the story, which side did you agree with?
Well, a bit of both, actually, I have to say, because I can see he would have been really, really difficult. But the whole thing was a real kind of pop psychology is not fair, a real psychological examination of everything Anderson. And I've learned some stuff about Dad and about me in that chat with Matthew that I didn't know.
Wow.
So there you go.
I was going to say, did you know that was coming? And you didn't. That's fascinating.
That is really interesting.
Really, I'm so sorry to gatecrash your podcast.
No,
just to tell you about something else.
We invited you in.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Well,
it's okay.
It's on us.
Yeah,
it's on us.
But still, if you invite somebody and you say, oh, hello, come in, and they barge in and go, hey, I've been at this great party. Oh, it's amazing. I've just done that.
Our party's a bit boring.
No, your party's lovely. I'm very happy to be here. Hello, all of you. I'm so sorry for going on and on about other stuff.
There was a plastic-eating disease at our party.
Oh, was there?
Melting planes and bum pinching.
Lots of
there was bum pinching.
Oh, Doomwatch, which is another thing I've never seen.
Funny that, isn't it?
I've never seen anything, me.
You do like television, don't
you? I love it, but
Only puppets.
No, definitely not Only Puppets. Certainly not Joe 90.
Michael Gove, the cartoon.
And how was Doomwatch?
I liked it a lot. It's like Doctor Who without any of the frills or style or pace.
It
rated high. It was in there at 4.5.
Nick gave it a 5.
I gave it a 5. I loved it.
After hating it 3 times previously.
I'd watched it 3 times over my life previously. Long time ago, not so long ago, etc. Spaced out through a number of years.
Yeah. I love that. I watched it once and then some time went by and then I watched it again and then I waited a bit longer and then right.
I don't know if you know how this works, but
hot new concept, guys.
I probably need your calendar to work it out, actually.
Jamie's coming from the future, actually. He's in next year. Is it any good? Is it worth?
And I liked it more. The more I watched it, is what I'm saying. I was dreading watching it again. I thought, I bet I won't. I bet this will be set. I was in the right mood for it.
Fell in love.
Gosh.
But who knows? When there's more time, and then I do it again.
Yeah. You might hate it. You might end up marrying it. You might end up jumping on the DVD box set. Who knows?
Put a ring on it. I'll watch it again tonight and let you know how I go. For next week's podcast, we're going to watch the same episode again. We're going to watch the same episodes for the next 5 weeks and see if we've got anything extra to say. I would be up for that, but I think that way madness lies.
Possibly. Gosh, well, that's a ringing endorsement, isn't it? You've only got to watch it 3 times over a many-year period, and then you might like it.
Well, Benji, being nice, only docked it down half a point to 4.5, and he had quite a few misgivings about it. Basically, he only liked the scenes in the aeroplane, which constitutes about 15% of the episode, but still gave it 4.5.
But it's a great 15%. Yeah, but it's one of those things. You can get rid of all the boring talking bits in the office and just have a nice time.
We should mention John Barron, who plays the minister, who was famous later for being CJ in The Fall and Rise of Reginald Perrin. Shelley.
That's what the rainbow's for. The rainbow catches everything that goes over my head, which is a lot.
Well, the Fall and Rise of Reginald Perrin, I think it was called The Fall and Rise, was it? Or The Rise and Fall?
The Fall and Rise.
Fall and Rise of Reginald Perrin was a classic comedy series on the BBC starring Leonard Rossiter. No, really famous British actor. Now, long since dead.
He died not long after doing Arturo Ui with David Graham. Is that right?
Oh, right. Yeah, I know he played Arturo Ui, the Bertolt Brecht play. Yeah.
I think when he was doing it, he had a heart attack. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, right. Okay.
When he was doing it?
Yes,
when
the
he was
play.
Doing the play with David Graham, not doing it with David Graham. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Anyway,
Oh, no.
Now we're getting into the adult zone.
and Leonard Rossiter's boss in it was a character called CJ, played by this guy, John Barron, who was the same sort of performance, but he was a lot more clipped. And he used to say, there'd be a knock at the door. 1, 2, 3, 4, make 'em wait outside the door. 5, 6, 7, 8, always best to make 'em wait. Come. And then they'd come in, and when they came to sit down to speak to him, everyone in the company was terrified of him. And when they sat down in the chairs, the chairs went... They had sort of whoopee cushions in them, and they go, sorry, nothing, CJ, sorry, CJ. And when they got up, he did it again, and that was the big joke in the Fall and Rise of Reginald Perrin.
And do you know what? It's the type of joke that I'd still laugh at. Anything like that, I will always find it funny.
Anything farty is funny.
Funny thing
Because
about
farts are funny.
They are. They
that
just
was a gem.
They just are.
The thing is, if you read the book of Fall and Rise of Reginald Perrin, the TV series just seems like a real... Even though I think the TV series came first and they wrote a book of it, David Nobbs wrote the book, the TV series seems like a pale, rather cheap laughs imitation.
It's like all of these
Just
things,
put that
though,
out
isn't
there.
it? You can never quite translate. It was like, what was it, last week? What was the famous quote that I still think about it? Has there ever been a book adaptation that has ever been... a film adaptation of a book that has ever been better?
We spoke about that last week.
Yeah. And it's like,
Last week.
I can't think of anything.
Oh. I posed that question to you guys because I can't think of one.
No,
that
if you've
I've-
read the book, you always find the film in some way disappointing. Sometimes you think that was a really good stab at it, and
Right.
I like what you did, but yeah.
Protect and
we're trying
Survive
to work
manual, I
out-
suppose. That was a bit better on the telly, wasn't it? But,
I read a book once. It was called Protect and Survive.
came in the door.
Jamie, we're trying to work out what to do next week.
You sure you want to ask me this sort of thing?
Well, I'm asking you. I'm not saying I'm going to take any notice of you.
Yeah, no. I mean, you could watch something really quaint and lovely and Anderson-y, a bit of Supercar or Fireball XL5. That'd be fun,
Ooh,
wouldn't it?
that would be quite nice.
We've done
wouldn't it?
Firewall XL5. All right, we're going to do Supercar.
I mean, I'd go for a mid-series one because otherwise it's just about saving Jimmy Gibson and his brother and Mitch the monkey from a raft in the middle of the sea. You want to go something a bit more exciting?
You've spoilt the ending.
I'll go for a mid-series one because otherwise it's just about this super car.
It's not even a car; it mostly flies. Yeah.
Supercar. It's got the most ridiculous theme tune. I love it.
So the music's great.
Find a mid-season one then. Go on.
Keep it cool.
Sounds great.
Keep it cool, grounded, high tension, icefall, flight of fancy.
Hang on, I've just got my handy complete Jerry Anderson guide here.
Oh, excellent. That's exactly what we need.
Available from...
No, it's not not currently available, but I do hope it will be again
Not
soon.
available at all.
No, currently
Just for
unavailable.
Jamie and only Jamie.
There's so much of you missing on this picture. It's really weird. Anyway, carry on.
My shoulder's disappearing behind the mic. Keep It Cool is number 6 in the series, so yes, that sounds
Correct.
good.
Keep it cool.
We're going to watch that one, are we?
Transmitted 25th of March 1961 at 5:40 p.m. There you go.
That's a nice.
1961. When in 1961?
25th of March.
Oh, before I was born.
What day would that have been?
Saturday.
Okay, well maybe I'll watch it Saturday at that precise time.
5:40 to really get the feel for it.
You
Yeah.
have to
really
wait
get
until
into
March,
it.
though.
Oh, that's
I was
fine.
gonna say.
That's how time works.
So what? We're all suddenly temporal experts. What's
Temporal
it called
excrement. Supercar, Keep It Cool.
Keep it
Again? I
cool.
knew it's called Supercar.
I did a
Keep
song
it-
called Keep It Cool once.
Did you? How did it go?
Keep it cool. Like that. It's very very glam rock with like a sort of guitar like da, 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 da. Very cool.
Very lovely.
Thank you very much.
So
now,
that's
where
what
can
we're
we
going to
find
watch.
that, Benj?
Probably on YouTube, actually. Ziggy
was
Zigford
quite-
and the Zigsters
Keep it cool.
And then you harmonise it with keep it cool.
I don't.
Like that, you see.
It sounds. It's a bit reminiscent of Stepping Stone, Benji. That's what it made me think of. You know,
Stepping Stone's a good song, though, yeah.
with
My
that kind
stepping
of
stone.
prolonged. Anyway, sorry. Yes, I want to hear that, and good luck watching.
I'm up a stepping stone.
Just-
Yeah,
Exactly.
cracker, that one. That's called Danger Girl,
I've just got
brackets
something
keeping it
interesting
cool.
to do.
Oh, it's... Seeing that, he's...
He's turning on the tap. Nice.
I'm just hold on. Look, tap dancing. Right.
Oh.
He's shaking the
Thank
tap
you.
round for those who can't
tap
see this.
dancing
Yeah.
while dad joking. It turns out.
Thank you. Thank you for the audio subtitles there.
Well, I suppose we better
Yeah.
pull this to a
Close to the
close then. So from me, Benji B, it's good B.
From me, Nick B, it's good B.
For me, Shelley D, it's good D.
And for me, Jamie A, it's good B.
Good A?
C, D, E, F, G.
Pressing stop now. Ka-chunk.